There we go. Henry, you're barely in. There we go. Now people can see you. The 2,460s. Yay. Less words than yesterday. But other than that, I think I have my water here. I don't know why I feel like I'm forgetting something. I got the author. The music's on. Oh yeah, now I know. I need to check that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It changed my microphone. That's what I had to double check. It's not. Doesn't affect the stream. Everything there is fine. It's just. I want to keep that safe for afterwards when I'm done streaming. I'm doing other things, and then I'm like, why is the mic not picking up? Okay. But I would say we get started. We're getting started with the 2460s. By the way, it was crazy for me to look at SCP-1945 because that I saw over the week of March, actually the 9 days of March, it jumped from having 120 views to 1,000. Like almost every day was 100 views. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what kind of algorithmic push it suddenly got. But yeah, it's the third SCP video of mine that has reached a 1,000 views now. That was crazy to look at. Seems like a lot of people from India watched that. So everybody from India, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching that one. Was there anything else I wanted to say about that? Let me actually look at it again. Because it was just crazy to look at the numbers suddenly jump that much. No, I think that's basically it. Yeah, I'm just surprised. I'm just very surprised how many views that suddenly got. And it's still getting some views, which is also very fascinating. But okay. Let's actually get officially started now. We got Wrong John Silver again. This is the first time, I believe, we had once the same author twice in a row, but it's the first time that we had the same author 3 times in a row. They did 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9, and now they're doing 2, 4, 6, 0, which is called Dark Satellite. So here we go. Oops, I'm in the wrong options. Here we go. We're in business. Okay. Upper class. Say. Keller. See addendum B. Special containment procedures. Due to its position and properties, SCP-2460 is not contained at this time. Space agencies are to be informed of SCP-2460's trajectory so that satellites and launches do not collide with SCP-2460. When doing so, SCP-2460 is to be listed as a large piece of space debris. No object is allowed within 50 kilometers of SCP-2460. Any matter colliding with SCP-2460 must be reported to the Astronomical Tracking Unit at Site 195, what the hell, immediately. In the event of a collision, the mass, density, and Schwarzschild radius, trying to go from English to German back to English without accidentally saying one in the other, because Schwarzschild is of course German for black shield. But I almost said radius like radius, which is how you would say radius in German. So, of SCP-2460 must be remeasured and its resulting new orbital trajectory calculated. Description: SCP-2460 is a gravitational anomaly in elliptical orbit around the Earth. It has an orbital period of 4 hours with a furthest distance from the surface of the Earth of 12,430 kilometers and closest approaching of 395 kilometers. Okay. Measurement of the... there's a picture right here. I haven't really looked into it. Let's look at that. The amount of... we have a couple SCPs of things just floating around the Earth. In the Earth's atmosphere, or at least out in space near the Earth. Measurement of the gravitational anomaly indicates it has a mass of 1.24 times 10 in the power 13 kilograms. At the location of the anomaly, there is an apparent object of approximately 50 times 30 times 15 meters. This gives the object a measured density of 5.51 times 10 to the power of 8 kilograms per meter cubed, which is approximately 100,000 times the density of the Earth and close to the density of a white dwarf. God damn. Okay. The shape of this object is variable in appearance, with components of different materials appearing to erupt from the surface of the object only to be reabsorbed. Furthermore, the object is virtually invisible to electromagnetic radiation and has no measurable charge, magnetic moment, or wave emissions. However, despite this behavior, photons in the visible light spectrum still interact with the object, albeit at a low albedo of 0.01. I think that the picture is real and is a source of some conspiracy theories that they say it's an angel. Pretty sure it's just a blanket from a space station. Let's look at that again. Let's look at that a little bit closer. I mean, it's hard to tell. I would not call it an angel either, which was... I honestly just thought it was like, maybe just some like asteroid debris just passing by. The anomaly behaves very... Zeno! Here we go. Did you know the world-renowned author Stephen King was hit by... Yes. I did know that. And I am still considering it. It has not left my mind. The anomaly behaves very differently on the quantum level. SB2460 is comprised of bosonic matter that anomalously maintains much of the structure of fermionic normal matter. This anomalous construction causes the Pauli exclusion principle not to apply, allowing matter to occupy the same quantum state as other similarly composed bosonic matter. People who understand, like, who like study space are like losing their mind. In the meantime, over here, like, huh? In addition, electromagnetic interaction is suppressed. As a result, the bosonic electron fields between objects in SB2460 do not repel each other. The net result of these anomalous quantum effects is that multiple individual objects within SB2460 occupy the same place at the same time. What appears to be the objects growing out of and receding into SB2460 is actually thousands of collocating objects oscillating about the gravitational center of the anomaly. The exceptionally high mass of SCP-2460 is the result of these thousands of individual objects occupying the same location, all gravitationally bound together. Okay, that I understand. It's basically saying that the reason why it's so, the mass is so high is because it's all the different objects just like squashing into this SCP. That I get. It is important to note that this collocation is not a spatio-temporal distortion, but a net result of the lack of interaction between individual objects in the anomaly. There is no risk of a reversion to a Euclidean space because the space is already Euclidean. The influence of the gravitation of thousands of objects acts as a strange attractor, keeping each individual object within 105 meters of the center of SB2460 at all times. The chaotic nature of the attractor has caused multiple objects to be shown at the surface of SB2460 at different intervals. Most of the items expressed are space dust and rocky debris similar in composition to asteroids. The following items are notable, however. So here we have a planetesimal with the above dimensions of 50 times 30 times 15 meters, just like we read before, okay. This item acts as the surface of SB2460. Of note is a distinct lack of cratering, not catering. Hey SB2460, are you hungry? We have some sandwiches in the back. Of cratering on the surface. A comet nucleus of approximately 5 meter diameter. Visible spectral analysis suggests that the object's original location was the Oort cloud. A spacefaring vessel of unknown make, 10 meters in length. The hull is covered with unidentified symbols. Through a plate glass window, two beings are visible, apparently long deceased and desiccated, resembling crocodilian humanoids. Okay. Approximately 1,000 metric tons of hydrogen and helium compressed under gravitation into a superfluid state. That's something like I have to actually like visibly see just to like understand that more. 90 capsules, each containing a single humanoid occupant, each collocating independently from the other. The occupants are apparently dead and desiccated. A lot of desiccated stuff on this thing, yeah? Foundation probe OU11-3 and Agent Rick Roberts, deceased. See addendum B. Wow, okay. So we have addendum A. On the 2nd, 15th, 2013, a stray orbiting steel bolt attached to a retaining plate from the redacted disaster was seen to be captured by the gravity well and collide with SCP-2460. Yeah, isn't there... I wonder... There is a spacesuit that's unstoppable in space. If that were to collide with this one, would it just shatter 2460 completely? Would it just like every single thing that's like all these thousands of different objects that are gravitationally attracted to this anomaly, would they just explode and just go all over the place? Or would this be strong enough to handle it? Like, would the immovable object meets unstoppable force, you know? That kind of situation. In space. In space. It was observed that the collision caused no impact site and the bolt passed through the matter without hindrance. However, post-collision, the bolt and plate no longer registered any electromagnetic field deformation. Further observation demonstrated that the bolt remains attached to the plate, confirming that the collocation effect of items caught within the anomaly does not extend to items that are exposed within milliseconds to it. This observation further suggests that all objects seen in SCP-2460 were, at one time, normal fermionic matter, transformed by the anomaly into the presently seen amalgamation. It is hypothesized that the anomaly annihilates the quantum spin of the subatomic particles, transforming the matter from fermionic to bosonic, and allowing it to collocate. Containment procedures updated to prevent further matter collision with SCP-2460. Further testing is suggested. I'm so glad that I forgot his name already. Zena, remember? Zena, you might remember him. The one who constantly like tried to like ask me to read tales and like read SCPs that were in Series 9. I'm glad he's not around because he was such a stick in the mud about me having to know like sciences to like read SCPs. So I'm glad he's not around because he would definitely be like, this is on the test, like make sure you memorize what these words mean and what and learn everything about it, because I'd be like, no, I just want to read and have fun. I don't want to be I don't want to be a science. I don't want to like study the sciences behind it all. I just want to have a good time. Yeah, reading every SCP in order. Hey, can you read? Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand at the beginning if you're like, it's like, oh, will you read this one next? And I'm like, no, I'm reading them in order. It's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I did not know. That I understand, but then like if I tell you that, and you still throughout other streams show up and be like, hey, can you read this story instead? I'd be like, I've been doing this for now years. Like, why would I suddenly change it up? Addendum B. On the 2nd, 5th, 2014, SCP-2460 was noted to pass within 70 kilometers of Foundation Orbital Unit 11, and a sortie was authorized to intercept the anomaly for quantum measurements. Agent Rick Roberts was sent in probe OU11-3 to examine the anomaly at close range for testing of the quantum signature of the matter within the object. Radio contact with probe OU11-3 ceased when the probe came within 5 kilometers of the central mass. Approximately 0.5 seconds before loss of contact, apparent density of the low Earth orbit medium was seen to increase from 1.0 times 10 in the power of minus 11 kilograms per meter cubed to 7.3 times 10 in the power of minus 9 kilograms per meter cubed. It's just skipping a couple thousand SPs. It's almost nothing. Yeah, because of one, you had to be there. Like, that person was already like a little bit of an oddball, and at the end, like they weren't like a dick or anything, but they definitely were a troll. They said themselves they were a troll, because they asked me once like which SCP I would recommend to a new person, like a person who's freshly new to the community. And I was like, you know, it's always good to start with like either one that's like really popular, because that's like the easier one to get into, like 096 and 173 and so on and so forth, or B, one that's not that like well known, but it's still pretty good, because then they have the incentive of trying to like explore a little bit on their own instead of just following every single one that's popular. And they told me they would recommend one that's way too complicated, like that's like super complicated and confuses them from to read on. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? Why would you, like, that just ruins the fun behind it. Like, that's not even being a troll. That's just being like, that's just a different way of gatekeeping the SCP stuff to yourself, because you're like, oh, now they won't come back and read more. I think I saw that guy in your SCP 2000, also unrelated, but do you think that aliens should be classified as anomalous in the SCP universe, like they do, like they're coexisting beings and kind of tie in with the universe? Okay, first let me answer Castlebone. I'm not sure if he still shows up in the 2000s, maybe. In a couple of my Joke SCP subscriber specials, he's definitely there. Because like he was watching, and then like the whole reason why I cut that stream short is because he once again was recommending me to like read tales, and I was like, I told you multiple times I'm not gonna do that, and that's why I just got annoyed, so I just stopped. And to you, Zeno, I understand what you mean. I definitely, because I do believe aliens are a existing thing, because there's no fucking way we're the only ones in this whole galaxy, in this whole space. And there has been cases where aliens are classified as anomalous, so it is hard to tell. I think I understand the idea of the Foundation thinking aliens are anomalous, because I think it's mostly the idea of like why suddenly show up now, more than the fact that they exist. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I would. Not only that, but also like the fact that the Foundation has probably found like at least 50 different types, and none of them even know of each other. None of them has like ever worked with each other, and so on and so forth. Like they have met so many different aliens that they're like, okay, one or two of you is definitely not supposed to be normal. If the aliens use anomalies for the things, I think the Foundation would probably classify them. Oh yeah, if they would use like anomalies for like technology and stuff like that. Yeah, I can see that. I think the Foundation went maybe with the route with the idea of like, okay, one alien that's not anomalous, because like, yeah, of course, the fact that there's an alien out there, probably the likelihood is high. But then like if multiple show up out of nowhere and the Foundation finds them, you're like, okay, we just gonna consider you all anomalous until we have more information of who of you guys are actually existed this whole entire time, and who from you just got spawned into existence. That would be my guess, or at least that's how I would approach it. 15,534 kilograms added to the mass of SB2460. Trajectory and Schwarzschild radius recalculated. Containment procedures updated to include a mandatory distance of 50 kilometers. Addendum C, transcript of lecture regarding SB2460 on the 4th, 3rd, 2015. We have, yep, and then this one was also back then. Oh no, this is in the future. Okay. Principal Researcher, Astronomical Phenomena Division. Forward, Dr. C. Argent presents the results of her observation and experiments with SB2460. Begin log. Dr. C. Argent, good Good evening and welcome. I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. Tonight, I'm going to explain what exactly SCP-2460 is and the risk it represents for the Earth. I could explain the fermion to boson. Wait, actually, let me read what you guys said before I read this. I think there's an X SCP that's an alien. I wonder if there's an X that is an alien. Let's just explain how it's anomalous. There is. Okay. Okay. Let's get started reading this whole thing now. And there's something down here. Okay, we'll see. I could explain the fermion to boson conversion called quantum spin annihilation. Explain how this interaction is possible on the version of supersymmetry, the transformation of quarks to squarks, and so on. But I'm sure that will go over most of your heads. You couldn't learn it all, but you're here to understand what this is and what it means. I'll spare you the physics. I'm sure you heard stories of walking through walls, ghosts, radio waves, certain anomalies, etc. Phasing is a popular term for it. In essence, SCP-2460 is a collection of objects, asteroids, comets, nebula material, stellar mass, and more, all phasing through each other. Oh, okay. That's why they're like kind of like that's why the size of it looks so small. Okay. It's important to recognize that this phasing is the sole reason all these objects exist in the same place at the same time. There is not a spatial-temporal distortion, at least not anything more than is fully and non-anomalously explainable via its gravity alone. However, what is less explainable is the lack of electromagnetic interaction within SCP-2460. Firstly, this means that there is no radio communication possible with anything within the anomaly. Radio waves pass through it as if it wasn't there. This is also what leads to the phasing effects we see. You know how we are made of atoms, and atoms consist of a nucleus surrounded by an electron cloud? These electron clouds are negatively charged and push each other away, and that's why we can't walk through walls. But within SCP-2460, the electron fields between objects introduced at separate times don't interact, don't push against each other. As a result, don't stop objects from passing through one another. Let me see what you guys are saying. After you should read EXSP as a subspecial. You're right. You're right. I think. I'm trying to think if I should do that like co with like joke SCPs. Like if I should do like one subspecial is a joke, one is explained, or if I should wait to go through all the joke ones. Although there's a bunch of joke ones anyway, so I think the first option of per subspecial I switch between joke and explained. That's a good idea. It's a very good idea. But wait, you're probably asking, isn't the photon a gauge boson for the electromagnetic interaction? Why do we see anything? Okay, you're likely not asking that, but I did. First thing. Fucking arrogant prick. You're probably thinking this, but at the same time, I know you're not, because I am muy inteligente compared to you. Okay, so you're gonna talk down on us like that, or you're gonna continue with the explanation? I'm getting to it. I just want to make sure that I made the assumption. I actually asked that question. You guys didn't. Just one more day before the weekend rolls up. One more day before the weekend rolls up. The truth is we don't see most of SCP-2460. Experiment B proved that. We saw the medium density around probe UI 11-3 increase nearly 1,000-fold before losing contact. There is a cloud of massive particles that have nearly no interaction with normal matter extending as far as 5 kilometers from the central mass. This, you know what, actually, I won't be able to read, but I can imagine he's basically doing this. God, I'm trying. Let me see if I can actually see. I can barely see something. Central mass. There are only two. Oh God, there are only two ways these particles interact gravitationally and rendering normal matter that comes in contact with it out of phase. These particles are invisible and otherwise undetectable. All remaining mass was added subsequently, acting as an anchor for particles. That's why we can see the massive objects in the center. That's how I imagine he's saying this to us right now. God, I would never do that again. That shit That shit is. You go to a lecture and it's just the speaker bragging about how much smaller they are than the audience. Yeah, I mean, technically that's how TED Talks used to be. Like, if you think about it, TED Talks are just like, I studied something random and you haven't. So I can now explain it to you. Of course they wouldn't, be arrogant about it. They won't be like, it's like, you guys are fucking idiots. But if you think about it, it's just a guy who's like, I took this random information and I deep dived into it and now I'm here. What's the risk from this? Well, it's exceptionally dense and thus perturbation. Oh, I perturbated before I saw the stream. Let's go on. From its present orbit will preferentially cause the orbit to decay, resulting in SCP-2460 falling to the Earth. Now, since it remains phased out, collision with the Earth won't cause any impact crater. Okay, so it was just... However, the quantum spin annihilation will affect all matter the anomaly passes through. Ah, shit. Okay. Resulting in invisible holes of phased out ground. SCP-2460 will pass unhindered through the center of the Earth, transforming matter the entire way, leaving a giant hole for the center of the Earth that the liquid mantle and core will gush into. The crust and surface eventually falling unsupported into the hole. But it won't end there. The momentum in SCP-2460 will propel it all the way back out of the center of the Earth, back to the surface, where it will gravitationally oscillate back and forth, rendering more and more of the Earth out of phase with itself like Swiss cheese, until the entire planet collapses into a central super dense pile of untouchable rubble, constituting a QK-class quantum degeneracy end of the world scenario. Welcome to my TED Talk. Today we are going to talk about how you are all stupid and I'm not. Imagine if there was an SCP where it was just an anomalous TED Talk. Hey, somebody can make that. You can ask Howard. He's an author now. You can ask him to make that. So I'm sure you agree that we want this thing as far away. So I understand what he's saying. He's basically saying because it's pulled to the Earth's gravitational pull, it will just eventually just like and then the Earth was just like collapsing in on itself. So I'm sure you agree that we want this thing as far away from us as possible. The problem is we can't touch it. We can't use thrusters to push it away. There's nothing to push it against. We can't deflect it with magnetic fields. There's no electromagnetic interaction. We can only use gravity to pull it away. That means that we will need to tow an asteroid of similar mass into low Earth orbit to carefully slingshot the anomaly away from us, then destroy the asteroid somehow. An asteroid approximately 22 kilometers in diameter, which I'm pretty sure... Oh, it's a plate. Okay, got deleted. Should contain enough mass to eject the anomaly. Recommendations have been submitted to O5 Command, but I'm sure you actually are all asking, what is this? What is this, and why did it end up here, orbiting around the Earth? Well, it is an amalgamation of weakly interacting massive particles invisible to electromagnetic radiation, emitting no radiation of its own, and possessing only gravity. In short, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. SCP-2460 is dark matter. And when you consider that fully, 85% of the mass in the universe is dark matter, we should not ask why we are so unlucky to have a chunk of it orbiting around the Earth. We should ask, why are we so lucky that we haven't hit any of this stuff yet? Thank you, and good evening. That links to the now deleted SCP-2003, which I can still look up if that's the one I talked about. I don't think it is. I don't think that's because 2003 now is or at least the one I read is the one where people can see like the world ending in different ways, like different like end of the world scenarios being observed through like time traveling. So I don't think that's the same one. But hey, good start. Good start. It started off with a little bit like a lot of like, you know, scientific talk, a lot of like scientific words being used, big boy words. But I'm glad that the guy, even though he talked down on us, I'm glad he explained it, because now I understand what it is. A small mass of a mass of 1,000. It's not small technically. Of 1,000 objects in space phasing into each other, collecting higher mass, and has the chance to phase through our Earth and creating holes. It is it only can be got away with gravity. So good luck, Foundation, with that one. All right. To think that they imagine explaining SB to a pilgrim. I don't know why you would. Because that would go against everything the Foundation would. I mean, unless you mean in our world, like trying to explain the SCP Foundation like wiki to a pilgrim. Again, in our universe, they would be like, okay, this is weird. But in their universe, they would not have a reason to explain that to any pilgrims. In our universe, I think we have better things to. If I met a pilgrim, I don't think I would try to explain SCPs to him. I'd be like, how did I end up in this timeline? I'd be more concerned about that. I'd be more concerned to be like, how the what? Not only would I be more concerned about trying to figure out how the hell I end up in a timeline where pilgrims are a thing again. Since I'm black, I'll probably be in high danger. So I don't think I want to explain to that person what an SCP is. I don't, especially not in the time where like that shit would be absolutely mind-boggling. Like they would just think I'm insane. He's black, burn it. Yeah, exactly. That exactly is the problem. I don't think I would want to explain to a pilgrim at all anything.